premiery oryginalnego Dead Space minęło niemal 15 lat, czyli czas najwyższy przypomnieć ten tytuł kolejnemu pokoleniu graczy. Rozmawiamy z twórcami remake'u jednego z najlepszych survival horrorów w historii medium, dyrektorem kreatywnym Romanem Camposem Oriolą i starszą scenarzystką Joe Berry.
But we don't have much time.
To what extent does Dead Space 2023 follow the plot of the original game? I'm asking that because I heard that you guys incorporated certain elements from the sequels as well, but I would love to hear the official version, obviously.
It's like you're going on your favorite road trip again, but this time, you know, there's the old friends in your car may have a little bit more to say. There's some really fun detours you can go on. Maybe we're in a high performance car, so everything looks great. It's that kind of sense of, you know, it's that familiar journey, but you may have different stops on the way that make you see the end differently. We looked for missed opportunities. We looked for foreshadowing that we could do for the rest of the franchise. You know, were there lore changes that we wanted to express, and was there a character where those could live really well? Isaac's now a speaking character, so his interactions with the crew change, and that has a ripple effect into how people react. So it's sort of a lot of very small sort of incremental changes that can end up sort of going, you know, feeling like they're going in a slightly different direction.
One thing we wanted to do also as an example is there's some character we wanted to give them a bit more agency. Like, for example, Nicole, there is a whole layer of side quests that happens in the game, and one of those succession of side quests allows you to retrace the steps that she took during the outbreak and what she did and what was her relation with other people aboard the ship, what was her relation with the captain, what was her relation with Mercer, and this kind of things. So or also, like Joe was mentioning, the fact that Isaac now speaks, it allows us to reinforce the themes that were key to Dead Space, that were present in the original, but that now we can push further. Like, for example, paranoia. That sense of, okay, the first time Cain contact Isaac in the original, it was mainly a monologue. So you don't know if Isaac trusts him or not, or what's going to happen there. So the first time Cain contacts him, you can feel that tension, you can feel that paranoia. You can even feel like, is he real? Is it an hallucination?
In terms of environmental design, did you had to guys to rebuild like certain locations completely from scratch, or was it like all there in concept arts and so on, just waiting for you know, to brush it up a bit, just needing some paint here and there?
We had concept art from the original. We of course had the original game also. So for some section, we rebuild them as is or as intended, let's say. Other section, they're completely new because they did not existed in the original. Like, for example, I was saying the fact that the Ishimura is now one fully interconnected ship. Or some section went under a big rework or redo, let's say, because, for example, we changed zero-G navigation. And so, of course, all the zero-G sequences in the game had to be rethought or redesigned with that. So it's a bit a mix and a balance. But also from a narrative perspective, one thing we wanted to improve or push further, going back to that immersion pillar, it's the sense that each room, each corridor in the Ishimura has a purpose. That ship has a purpose. It's a mining ship. So all the rooms, everything needs not only to have a purpose, but also people live there, work there. And for us, it was really important to try to push as far as we can that environmental narrative and storytelling.
Yeah, there was a lot of cooperation, collaboration with level design, where, you know, it was like, we have this new space, what is it? And it was like, well, this area connects to this deck and that deck, so it would probably have served this purpose, therefore we propped out this way, and, you know, we'd find this there. It was that kind of feeling of making sure that, you know, if we were, you know, adjusting the ship and creating these new spaces, that those spaces always felt congruent, that it was like, oh, it makes sense that, you know, this is a room where they kept quarantine cargo because it's between the tram section and medical, right? So it's just trying to constantly think about the ship as a place where people lived and worked, and that, you know, there'll be a flow to it.
And I have just one more question, and I hope it's not too risky, but only a few weeks ago, the Callisto protocol was released, and it was widely referred to as a spiritual successor to Dead Space, and now we have a proper Dead Space game. So do you think that both franchises can peacefully coexist in future?
I think so. Like survival horror, for me, I'm a big fan of survival horror. So I personally really enjoy playing Callisto protocol, and especially all the ambience and stuff they're doing. And if you look at any genre, there's competition, there's similar game, and they are really successful. And for me, it's the same in survival horror. Yeah, Callisto Protocol came last month. Resident Evil 4 is supposed to come in a remake is supposed to come in a couple of months, etc. Like, for me, I'm really excited because, like I said, I love this type of game, and there's a lot of those games coming out, so can't wait to play those. But as more as a market element, why also that makes me happy. It's because survival horror has always been a niche. But the fact that so many survival horror games are coming out, etc., that must mean that people want to play that game. That maybe that market is expanding. Maybe we're going to reach more player and bring more player into those franchises, into those gameplay, and make that genre grow. And that for me is really, really exciting.